Following the death of Pope Francis, a cardinal from the United States has become acting head of the Vatican until a new pontiff is elected. He is Cardinal Kevin Farrell, a Dublin-born cleric who became a naturalized American citizen after spending many years ministering in the United States. Farrell, a former bishop of Dallas, holds the position of Camerlengo, or chamberlain, which tasks him with overseeing and administering the temporal goods and rights of the Apostolic See following the death or resignation of a pope. It is the Camerlengo's job to officially ascertain the pope's death, place seals on the pope's bedroom and study and make funeral preparations. The Camerlengo is also tasked with making practical arrangements for the conclave, to ensure the confidentiality of proceedings and orderly voting. Wearing white choir dress and a red stole, a vestment, he presides over the ceremonial service of the certification of death, a first moment of prayer following the death of the pope, and the placing of the body into a wooden and zinc coffin, according to a liturgical book for papal funeral rites which Francis had updated last year. He draws up the authentic act of death, which is then attached to the death certificate that has been drawn up by the Vatican's Director of the Department of Health and Hygiene. On Monday evening, the Vatican press office said Francis died of a stroke and heart failure. The Camerlengo's powers are limited to the day-to-day administration of the Vatican, and he chairs a committee of 3 other cardinals as he carries out his duties. When serious matters arise, he must consult with the wider body of cardinals. Nevertheless, during the papal interregnum, the period between the death of one pope and the election of another, the Camerlengo can request financial information from Vatican departments, including details of any extraordinary business taking place. He can also demand the budget and consolidated financial statement of the Holy See for the previous year, as well as the budget for the following year, according to the constitution of the Church's central administration. During a papal interregnum, all leaders of the Vatican offices cease to carry out their work aside from the Camerlengo and 2 others. Farrell is a well-qualified Camerlengo. The 77-year-old is unusual for a high-ranking church leader in holding a Master of Business Administration degree, MBA, from the University of Notre Dame, Indiana. Farrell is the highest-ranking U.S. bishop in the Church's central administration and known as a strong decision-maker and organizer who has the advantage of being a fluent English and Spanish speaker, the 2 most widely spoken languages in the global Church. He is also known to speak Italian and Irish Gaelic. Farrell's expertise caught the attention of Pope Francis, who made him one of his most trusted collaborators. In 2016, Francis appointed the then Bishop of Dallas to be the leader of the Vatican's family life, later making him a cardinal and then, 3 years later, choosing him for the important and sensitive position of Camerlengo. But they weren't the only responsibilities Francis gave the cardinal. In 2023, the Pope appointed Farrell as president of the Vatican City-State Supreme Court while naming him president of both the Vatican's Commission for Confidential Matters and Committee for Investments, the latter designed to guarantee to the ethical nature of the Holy See's financial investments. Farrell was also chosen to sit on the boards overseeing the Holy See's property portfolio and the administration of Vatican City-State. Born in 1947, he left Ireland as a teenager and joined the Legionaries of Christ, a religious order founded in Mexico in 1941 which would later be plagued by the revelations of abuse by its founder, Marshal Maciel. Farrell, however, left the group decades before Maciel was revealed to have sexually abused dozens of minors. The future cardinal studied in Spain and Rome and then worked in Mexico and the U.S. In 1984 he became a priest of the Archdiocese of Washington, D.C. and went on to hold senior positions in the capital's local church. He would later face questions about what he knew regarding the case of former Cardinal and Archbishop of Washington, Theodore McCarrick, found guilty by a church trial of abusing minors and of sexual misconduct against adult trainee priests. Farrell denied any knowledge of McCarrick's behavior. Did I ever know? No. Did I ever suspect? No. Did he ever abuse any seminarian in Washington? No, he said. While leading the Vatican's Dicastery for the Laity, Family, and Life, the Cardinal appointed 2 women to senior positions in his department and has said that his successor could be a non-cleric. "My expertise is getting people to do the job, people who are qualified to do the job," he has said. Service at high level in the church seems to be in the family blood with one of Farrell's brothers, Brian, also a priest and a bishop, and has spent many years working in the Vatican. He backed the Pope's merciful approach to divorced and remarried Catholics, with Francis opening the door to them receiving communion. "Fundamentally, this is about meeting people where they are," Farrell explained. The Cardinal described opposition to the late Pope as vicious and unprecedented, but insisted Francis had brought the Church closer to the fundamentals of Christianity. As the Church prepares for a new pontiff, Farrell will seek to ensure the transition is as smooth and seamless as possible. Kevin Joseph Farrell, born September 2, 1947, is an Irish-born American Catholic prelate who has served as the prefect of the Dicastery for the Laity, Family, and Life since 2016, Camerlengo of the Holy Roman Church since 2019, and president of the Supreme Court of Vatican City since 2024. He has served as the regent of Vatican City since the death of Pope Francis on April 21, 2025. After his ordination in 1978, Farrell served as a chaplain and university teacher for several years in Mexico and worked in the United States from 1984 to 2016. He was an auxiliary bishop of the Archdiocese of Washington from 2002 to 2007 and bishop of Dallas from 2007 to 2017. He was made a cardinal in 2016. Farrell was born on September 2, 1947, in Dublin, Ireland. He is the second of 4 sons. His older brother is Brian Farrell, who was appointed Secretary of the Pontifical Council for Promoting Christian Unity in the Roman Curia in 2002. Farrell obtained his Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Salamanca in Spain. He then entered the Pontifical Gregorian University in Rome, where he earned a Master of Philosophy degree and licentiate in theology. He also attended the Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas, receiving a Master of Theology degree in Dogmatic Theology, 1976, and a Licentiate of Sacred Theology in Pastoral Theology, 1977. He also holds a Master of Business Administration degree from the University of Notre Dame. Notre Dame also granted Farrell an honorary Doctor of Laws degree in 2017. Priesthood. Farrell was ordained to the priesthood for the Legionaries of Christ by Cardinal Eduardo Pironio in Rome at Our Lady of Guadalupe Basilica on December 24, 1978. After his ordination, Farrell served as a chaplain at the University of Monterrey in Monterrey, Mexico, where he also conducted seminars in bioethics and social ethics. In the early 1980s, Farrell left the Legionaries to be incardinated in the Archdiocese of Washington. In 1984, Farrell was assigned as an associate pastor at St. Peter's Parish in Olney, Maryland. He also served at St. Bartholomew Parish in Bethesda, Maryland, and at St. Thomas the Apostle Parish in Washington, D.C. In 1985, Farrell was appointed director of the Archdiocesan Spanish Catholic Center. Farrell became acting director of Catholic Charities in the Archdiocese in 1988, and served as Secretary for Financial Affairs from 1989 to 2001. The Vatican raised him to the rank of Monsignor in 1995. In 2001, Farrell was named Vicar General for the Archdiocese and pastor of Annunciation Parish in Washington. Auxiliary Bishop of Washington. On December 28, 2001, Pope John Paul II appointed Farrell as an Auxiliary Bishop of Washington with the titular see of Rusukuru. He was consecrated on February 11, 2002, at the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception in Washington by former Cardinal Theodore McCarrick. His co-consecrators were Cardinal James Hickey and Bishop Leonard Olivier. Farrell served until 2007 as Washington's moderator of the Curia and Chief Vicar General. Bishop of Dallas. Farrell was appointed Bishop of Dallas by Pope Benedict XVI on March 6, 2007, replacing Bishop Charles Grauman. Farrell was installed on May 1, 2007. Within the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, USCB, Farrell was a consultant to the Committee on Migration, which oversaw the Migration and Refugee Services Department. Farrell was the 2009 chair of the USCB Committee on National Collections. His brother Brian Farrell is the secretary of the Pontifical Council for Promoting Christian Unity. Kevin Farrell commented on his brother in 2015, "I'm younger, but I became bishop first, 12 months earlier. And we still have a little sibling rivalry." Cardinal. On August 17, 2016, Pope Francis appointed Farrell prefect of the newly established Dicastery for Laity, Family, and Life in Rome. On October 9, 2016, Francis announced he would raise Farrell to the rank of cardinal in a consistory on November 19, 2016. He was created a cardinal deacon on that day and assigned to San Giuliano Martiri parish in Rome. On June 10, 2017, Francis named Farrell a member of the administration of the Patrimony of the Apostolic See, and on December 23, 2017, a member of the Pontifical Commission for Vatican City-State. In July 2018, the University of Dallas named an administration building after Farrell, a former chancellor. On February 14, 2019, Francis named Farrell as Camerlengo of the Holy Roman Church. In June 2019, Farrell admitted receiving a $29,000 gift from Bishop Michael J. Bransfield to refurbish his Rome apartment. A 2018 apostolic visitation to the Diocese of Wheeling-Charleston in West Virginia revealed that he had been using diocesan funds for these gifts and his own personal spending. Farrell returned the $29,000 to the diocese. Bransfield was removed from office in July 2019. On April 20, 2020, Farrell persuaded Francis to postpone both the 2021 World Meeting of Families and 2022 World Youth Day to June 2022 and August 2023 respectively due to the COVID-19 pandemic. On September 29, 2020, Francis appointed Farrell as president of the Commission for Confidential Matters, a new office in the Roman Curia. According to the Church's Apostolic Constitution, Predicate Evangelium, the Commission is responsible 1. To authorize any legal, economic, or financial act that for the greater good of the Church or of persons must be kept confidential and removed from the examination and supervision of the competent entities. 2. To monitor contracts of the Holy See which by law demand confidentiality and to exercise vigilance over them. On June 7, 2022, Francis appointed Farrell as chair of the Pontifical Committee for Investments. According to Predicate Evangelium, the committee is responsible for guaranteeing the ethical nature of the Holy See's equity investments in accordance with the Church's social doctrine and, at the same time, monitoring their profitability, propriety, and degree of risk. On January 1, 2024, Farrell was appointed as President of the Supreme Court of Vatican City. On May 20, 2024, Pope Francis appointed Farrell as Special Envoy to the LIII International Eucharistic Congress, held from 8 to September 15 in Quito, Ecuador. In November, Francis appointed Farrell as sole director for the Holy See's Pension Fund, covering the Roman Curia and the Vatican City former employees. On April 21, 2025, Farrell announced the death of Pope Francis in a video statement on the Vatican's TV channel. The Vatican announced that Farrell would preside over the rite of ascertainment of death for Francis, to take place on the same evening. After McCarrick was laicized in 2018 for credible allegations of sexual abuse against a minor, further reports of accusations and legal settlements emerged, dating back years. These revelations led to public questions about whether bishops and clerics closely associated with McCarrick, including Farrell, had been aware of these accusations and settlements. McCarrick had asked the Vatican to appoint Farrell as auxiliary bishop in Washington. Over the next 6 years, Farrell served as vicar general there. During this time, he shared a 4-bedroom apartment with McCarrick and 2 priest secretaries. According to Farrell's website, when he was Bishop of Dallas, the lion rampant on his coat of arms honors McCarrick, and the yellow and red coloring at the top right of his coat of arms is also derived from that of McCarrick. Many newspapers and columnists have questioned whether Farrell and the other bishops who served under McCarrick were aware of the molestation and abuse and decided to do nothing about it. Journalist Michael Sean Winters termed McCarrick as Farrell's mentor in the episcopacy. In September 2015, the Vatican announced that the World Meeting of Families, WMOF, would be held in Phoenix Park in Dublin, Ireland, in 2018. In August 2016, Francis appointed Farrell as head of the Dicastery for the Laity, Family, and Life. As a result, Farrell took charge of the 2018 WMOF. Farrell said that Francis' visit to Ireland would be inspirational and counter negativity towards the Irish Church. On August 18, 2018, former Irish President Mary McAleese, a critic of the WMOF, said that meeting organizers had not invited her or her family to any of the WMOF events, saying, "It's always been essentially a right-wing rally, and it was designed for that purpose, to rally people to get them motivated to fight against the tide of same-sex marriage, rights for gays, abortion rights, contraceptive rights." On August 16, 2018, Cardinal Sean O'Malley, scheduled to lead a pioneering session on child safeguarding, withdrew from the WMOF. On August 18, Cardinal Donald Wuorl, due to address the conference, also pulled out. Although organizers claim to have sold over 500,000 tickets to WMOF, the Office of Public Works in Ireland confirmed that the attendance was only 152,000. Farrell is a supporter of gun control initiatives and opposes deference to the gun lobby by the United States Congress. Thank you for watching this video.